Ladies and gentlemen, let us bless this video with this beautiful piece of art.
I'm afraid of the retaliation. I know the power of patriarchy. I know what men can do when they're angry.
Dark Iron Gaines said it perfectly. Milord mogging the metaverse. So this next video is insane. An American weightlifter who's 71 kilos and 17 years old. And she's about to back squat 210 kilos. No knee sleeves, no belt, 17 years old. A child back squatting 210 to an insane depth is absolutely frightening. I will say this, at my best right now, 210, 215 max. My best ever is 230 kilos. And I'll tell you guys, there's a lot of dudes out there watching this and just walking around in the world who couldn't even dream of hitting this weight. Here is the world record clean and jerk from 1951, 400.5 pounds or 182 kilograms. Now, the sport has changed drastically since then. The press out rule is much more ticky-tack. That would never be allowed in a million years given the current rule set. Back then, they had metal plates. They had to guide the bar back down. They also had two spotters on the side doing God knows what. Now, I think the most amazing thing about this is that John Davis was a black man. The first person in the world to clean and jerk 400.5 pounds was a black man. And why was this important? Because in 1951, the climate around black people in this country specifically was not a good climate at all. This is from history.com. A growing group of Americans spoke out against inequality and injustice during the 1950s. African Americans had been fighting against racial discrimination for centuries. During the 1950s, however, the struggle against racism and segregation entered the mainstream of American life. For example, in 1954, in the landmark Brown versus Board of Education case, the Supreme Court declared that separate educational facilities for black children were inherently unequal. This ruling was the first nail in Jim Crow's coffin. Jim Crow laws were what separated white Americans with black Americans. And the first substantial movement against Jim Crow didn't happen till 1954. This man broke a world record, and then he was told he probably had to leave out of a different door than the white people in the audience did. Now, I'm not entirely sure how things went down for Jesse Owens, but I have heard a number of different things. And if you guys have more knowledge on this, please comment below. So the 1936 Olympics were in Berlin, Germany. This was at the rise of Hitler's Third Reich. Jesse Owens, being a black man, being sent to Berlin was a very controversial thing at the time. Now, there are stories of Jesse Owens sticking it to Hitler and sticking it to the race-obsessed Third Reich. But this next paragraph explains something that was to the contrary, or at least something that points back to the US and the inherent American exceptionalism. This was written by Craig Chamberlain, the social sciences editor at the Illinois University News Bureau. The question here was, what was Owens' reception on his return to the US? As far as Owens was concerned, he was snubbed not by Hitler, but by Roosevelt, who never met the American medal winners or telegraphed congratulations. Owens still had to live in a segregated country. He had to live off campus at Ohio State and take the freight elevator to his reception at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City after the Olympics. In 1936, he campaigned for the Republican presidential candidate Alf Landon, perhaps in part because he was embittered by Roosevelt. Sorry to make things serious here, but I had never seen that lift from John Davis, and it just got me thinking about this a lot. Back to more funny. me tell you guys, Eric Buchenhagen, or Rick Boogs as many know him, or Slick Rick, Slick Del Hagen, he's a dream collab for me. Always has been, always will be. At one point, I hope to God that him and I are able to collab and do some very important lifting. I actually really like this. This is from Make Wads Great Again. Essentially, it was like the commandments of CrossFit, but this is making fun of it, and it's actually spot on. Eat meat and vegetables, D's nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar unless some drink company pays you big bucks. That would be Monster Energy. Keep intake levels to that which will support exercise but not body fat, because we don't wear shirts around here. You know, that's a very funny part about CrossFit is they talk a lot about health and fitness and not really being a part of the culture that is around health and fitness, or was prior to it, that was influenced by bodybuilding, when in reality, there is quite a bit of vanity in CrossFit. And I think that CrossFitters would be the first people to tell you that. Almost every person that they follow on Instagram, all the big names, you got to have your shirt off. You got to show off your muscles in order to get following. It doesn't matter that, you know, CrossFit believes in something separate than that. If you want to sell and you want to make money, you got to look sexy. You got to take your shirt off. Practice and train major lifts, the minor ones. Deadlift, squat, presses, clean and jerk, and snatch. Similarly, master the basics of gymnastics. Just the basics, though. No one likes a show-off. Pull-ups, dips, rope climbs, push-ups, sit-ups, presses to handstand, pirouettes, JK, flips, splits, and holds. Yeah, the basics of gymnastics that CrossFit implements can get pretty ridiculous. Bike, row, swim, etc. hard and fast, just like your mom likes it. 6 days a week, mix these elements in as many combinations and patterns as creativity allows. Unless you're really good at one thing, then just post it over and over again to social media. They're calling me out at this point. Routine is the enemy, so is the assault bike. Keep workouts short and intense like a games athlete. Regularly learn and play new sports because it's not cool to be only good at exercising. Insert the eastbound and down clip here.
I happen to be training for a triathlon right now, so doing a lot of running and cycling, swimming. Well, you know all about that.
No, actually I don't. I play real sports, not trying to be the best at exercising.
So there's a couple of these guys out there that do, variations of the Olympic lifts. One of them is Connor Barth. I've been talking to him a lot on the DMs and just exchanging technical stuff. At one point, I asked him to help me get back to the shape I was when I was dunking again and maybe give me some technical advice. But this is an example of somebody doing just that. This is Jay Clark, the jumper. Standing between the legs dunk. That is insane. And here we have 315 for hang power cleans. Really solid. He's not like starfishing at all. He's even got that's solid technique. Now, two things here. I love this style of clean. This is how I learned to clean in sports performance. A lot of times people call this the thrower clean, but you bring the bar to just above the knees and then you pull from there. You're not making that secondary contact point like you would in the clean. What this does is it develops the traps and it develops just like explosive hip extension at the way end, which can be very vital for weightlifting. Now, he is wearing straps, which I also like to wear straps for this exercise. But the key when you wear straps for the clean, if you wear straps for the clean, the key is not to squat down. If you do that, you're on your own. I did not tell you to do that. Even if you wear straps on the clean and you hurt your elbows or your wrists, that is your fault. There are times, we can make the rule never wear straps for cleans and you'll probably be okay. I like to wear them. I know the dangers. I'm safe when I use them. And so you should be too. Anyways, that's a video today. I hope you liked it and I'll see you in the next one.